Is up, fellas? It is week 7 NFL points, picks, and props. Congratulations to you for tuning in to what is the best NFL betting show there is. Maybe not the most highly rated, maybe not the most watched, but the best. Absolutely. It's not quantifiable, so we can say whatever the hell we want. We are the best. We're the best trio of NFL prognosticators there are. Let's introduce that trio. That is Ben O'Connell. He's in Chicago, Illinois. That is Tommy Burch. He is in Springfield, Massachusetts. I am Kyle Garlett. I am in Denver, Colorado. And it's week 7, guys. Week 7. Michael Vick's old number 7. We were just talking about flag football before we started recording. Everybody is very excited about flag football in the Olympics. Well, Tommy's excited about lacrosse in the Olympics. But how Michael Vick would be a hell of a quarterback. Okay, yeah, he's a little long in the tooth now. But, man, if we could have had Michael Vick in his prime doing a flag football, how many gold medals do you get when you lap the field like 7 times? Yeah. Well, guys, quite a consequential week 6. We now no longer have any undefeated teams. PJ Walker, who's been cut 11 times in his NFL career, XFL star PJ Walker, he beat the San Francisco 49ers. And then the New York Football Jets and Zach Wilson knocked off the Philadelphia Eagles. So we no longer have any undefeateds. And this has nothing to do with the fact that the Chiefs just played the Denver Broncos, but the Kansas City Chiefs now have the longest winning streak in the National Football League at 5 games. Hey, who they beat to get that streak is neither here nor there. Any feelings about week 6 before we move on to week 7?
It had happened eventually. We all knew,
and a lot of injuries led to that. I mean, they got banged up in that game.
Even like specifically, you look at the Niners and Browns game. The Browns' entire offense was just sidelined, and then the Niners go in and boom, Trent Williams ankle, Deebo Samuel gets taken out, Christian McCaffrey gets taken out, but thank goodness that Christian McCaffrey came back with a negative MRI, so he should be all right. But Trent had to play the rest of the game. He even said, I'm playing the rest of this game because I don't want to leave the guys out there against Myles Garrett. And even though he got kind of smoked by Myles Garrett didn't get a sack. So it still shows how impressive this guy and this offense is. I don't think there's anything to worry about for these two teams. They're still two of the top teams in the NFL. They're going to lose games. It's football.
Yeah.
I mean, up until this point, when you're on that winning streak, it feels in the locker room like you're just waiting somewhat for that loss subconsciously because you know it's coming. Now it's out of the way. These teams are going to perform without that added pressure of that undefeated season looming over them. Hey, this is when we see the real teams. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. This is why you love football, right? Any given Sunday.
No, everybody overreacts we overreact to wins. We overreact to losses. No, these are still these are still probably, I mean, like I like the Lions, but I don't think the Lions are on the same level as the 49ers and the Eagles. These are the 2 best teams in the NFC. They're still going to be there right at the end of the year. I mean, yeah, they didn't lose to very good teams, but I mean, and are we not sure though that the Deshaun Watson injury is not a plus for the Browns? I mean, maybe having PJ Walker in there actually improves this team because when was the last time we were impressed by Deshaun Watson as a quarterback? It's back before we realized what a shitty human being he was. So it's been a while. So yeah, maybe hey, yeah, Deshaun, just go ahead and just nurse that shoulder for another month and let the Browns stack some W's while you're gone. But yeah, everybody loses. It's been 51 years since a team didn't lose. But that actually brings us to this week's game. So my thought was, let's talk about the final teams to lose in a season, the last unbeatens in football. Obviously, our last 2 unbeatens lost this week. And so we have some questions regarding the last unbeaten teams in recent years. And as I was putting this together, I realized that a few of these questions are pretty challenging. So I didn't go with a full 8. We're only going to do 3 rounds each, and I do have a tiebreaker. Tommy, I believe you won our last game. Is that correct? You knew
Yes, I did.
so we'll have you go ahead and go first this week. So the Eagles were part of the last two teams to lose this year. Eagles were also the last team to lose in 2022. Tommy, what was their winning streak to begin the season last year?
The Eagles.
Correct. The Eagles. How many games did they win to begin last year before they took their first loss? That loss being to the Washington Commanders.
Was it 8?
It was indeed 8. Well done, Tommy. Tommy has a point. Okay, Ben. In 2021, the Arizona Cardinals began the season with 7 straight wins. Who beat them to break that streak?
Was it Seattle?
It was not Seattle. It was, oh, Tommy, do you have a guess?
Was it Pittsburgh?
It was not. It was the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, way back when Aaron Rodgers was Green Bay Packer, they're the ones who knocked off the Arizona Cardinals. All right, Tommy, over to you. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 11 games to begin the 2020 season. What was their final record that year?
They started with 11 games, right?
They won 11 straight to begin the year. What was their final regular season record?
It was it 12-4?
It was indeed 12-4. They were total ass to end the season, and they got their butts kicked in the playoffs because of that. All right. Ben, this is to you.
Okay.
The New England Patriots famously won 18 straight games to begin a season, losing game number 19 in the Super Bowl. The longest winning streaks to begin a season since those Patriots in 2007 was 14. 2 teams have done that. Can you name one of them? 14 straight wins to begin the year has happened twice since the Patriots. Can you name one of those teams?
Shoot. It's one of them the Chiefs.
One of them is not the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs' longest winning streak to begin a season is 9. Just a fun little fact. Go ahead and wow your dinner guests the next time you host with that little factoid.
I have no clue.
Well, one of those teams lost to your Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers won 14 straight games to begin the season in 2014.
Oh shit, good for them.
And the Indianapolis Colts won 14 games in 2009.
Oh, and then they benched their starters. I knew this.
And yep. All right, Tommy, you've actually already clinched this, but let's go ahead and just play it out because this is a lot of fun. Since 2000, the worst finishing record for the last team to lose a game was 8-8, a record shared by 2 teams. 2 teams were the final team to lose, and then they finished the season 8-8. Can you name one of those 2 teams? This is since the year 2000.
They started 8-0, and then they went 8-8. Is that what you said?
No, they were just the last team to lose.
Oh,
They
last
did not
team to
start
lose,
8-0.
and they went
They were I think one of them was 5-0, and then they finished 8-8.
Is one of the teams Washington?
It is not Washington.
Shit. I wanted to get 3-0. I don't know. I already lost the question. So
one of them was the San Diego Chargers back in 2002, and then more recently, the Minnesota Vikings in 2016. They were the last team to lose, and then they were 8-8, missing the playoffs. All right, Ben, to you. Only one team in history has been the last team to lose in back-to-back years, and went on to win the Super Bowl in both of those years. Okay, so let me say that a little more clearly. This team was the last team to lose in the regular season in back-to-back seasons, and in both of those seasons, they won the Super Bowl. They are the only team in NFL history to do so. Do you know that team?
Is it the Steelers?
It is not the Steelers. It is your Denver Broncos in
Damn it,
1997
I
and
knew
1998.
that.
They were the last team to lose in regular season,
Dare not
and they won
believe.
back-to-back Super Bowls. It
Dare
was
not
your
believe.
beloved Denver Broncos.
Fake fan.
Oh,
Fake
dude,
fan.
I knew they had such good starts. I'm so bad.
All right. Fun. We'll do a little thing here. We'll go ahead and do the tiebreaker. How many teams have missed the playoffs after being the last unbeaten team? Tommy, your guess first.
Um,
Completely missed the playoffs after being the last team to lose.
in the Super Bowl era,
It is an all-time. When there have been playoffs, there weren't a lot of playoffs back in the day.
I'm gonna say 7.
Okay, 7 for Tommy. Mr. O'Connell.
6.
It is 11. 11 teams were the last team to lose and miss the playoffs. So, Tommy, you have won our game. That means you are going to present your games first. Let me remove that. We've already got our ticker going. If you are only listening and not watching, we have all of the point spreads on our ticker. Go ahead and watch us on YouTube. I've said this before. We're three snacks. We are eye candy to the extreme. So you're missing out by just listening to the show. You should watch as well. But here we go. We're going to put Tommy in the big box. That's me. There we go. There's Tommy. And we're going to start with his first game of the weekend. Oh boy, it's a barn burner.
Oh yeah.
How many backup quarterbacks can we get to play in one football game? Las Vegas Raiders at the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, Las Vegas Raiders -3 at the Chicago Bears. I'm gonna take
Jimmy G was. So we're recording this on Wednesday. Thursday. Jimmy G has been ruled out, so he is definitely not playing.
Yeah, and I still am picking the Raiders here. Obviously, I think the Bears have they went off against the Commanders, but in all honesty, that was a fluke. The Bears are still a terrible football team and couldn't even put up 14 points against the Vikings, and the Vikings do not have an extraordinary defense. They're all right, but it's nothing special. Putting up 13 against the Vikings is kind of disappointing. The Raiders, however, have actually been quite consistent on defense. That's probably one of their strong suits at the moment. They can be very inconsistent on offense, but one thing you can trust the Raiders to do, and it's to hold the team under 25, because that's what they've done all season. 2 teams have scored less than 20 against them. Packers only scored 13. Patriots, they suck, but they only scored 17. And the Chargers, a historically good offensive team when it comes to putting points on the board, even though their defense is atrocious, only put up 24 on them. I think that the Raiders have this in the bag. Whether it's Brian Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell, I think they'll show up against the Bears' terrible, terrible system, and the Raiders are going to pick off Justin Fields twice. That is my prediction.
What is it? Tyson Badgett?
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
When I first heard the name, I thought, oh, hey, there's a new vacuum on the market. Maybe I should look at it. And then I realized, no, it's an actual football player. Undrafted free agent signing who is going to be making his first NFL start. I think I saw some stat. There's been like 4 guys in the last 60 years who are undrafted free agents who won their first ever NFL start. I hate trusting the Raiders, but my God, the Bears are going to be terrible without Justin Fields. You see some teams again, we've talked about Gardner Minshew and the investment in a backup quarterback. Could the Bears have mailed it in even worse with their backup quarterback? And you've got a quarterback who gets hurt and you have nobody as his backup. I mean, what's going on there? Again, it's the Raiders on the road. And you want to think to yourself, it's the Raiders, but man, it's the Bears. And look, I'm looking at the numbers right now. The Raiders are actually 3-3 against the spread. So and they're a second place team. They're in second place in the AFC West. So Raiders. I got to go Raiders.
All right, Kyle. Just because the Chiefs are in the AFC West doesn't mean it's a good division. We need to temper expectations there. But yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Last week, I don't know what happened to me. I apologize, listeners. I think that they spiked the Malort over here in this city because we were all in on Justin Fields, and then we had a nice, healthy reminder that he ain't shit. With the Raiders on this one, as much as it pains me to say, I like the Raiders to win by at least 3.
All right. Tommy, every week you get the Denver Broncos. Every week you tell us you're not going to pick them, and then lo and behold, the Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. Please explain yourself.
The last time I picked Denver,
They lost by
they
50
got
points.
70 points put up on them. I swear to the Lord and Savior himself, if the Denver Broncos fold this game, I will never watch a Broncos football game for the rest of my career. I am picking you here because I think you have a chance. Jordan Love has been steadily decreasing every week and has been folding every week. He started off hot and now he looks like he sucks. He has like an 8-6 touchdown to interception ratio, just over 1,000 yards. He's been playing terribly the last couple of weeks. The Broncos, one thing about the Broncos that I will give them a tiny little baby bit of credit for is that most weeks they can put up points on offense. The Chiefs is a whole different story. The Chiefs are probably right now, I mean, after the Niners and Eagles lost, Chiefs are probably the best team in the NFL.
100%.
All right, Kyle. But they put up 21 against the Jets, and the Jets are one of the best defenses in the league. I think that the Packers are a little bit banged up, to be honest with you. I think the Broncos could get in there, steal a win. I think, it's every given Sunday. I think this is any given Sunday. I think this is that given Sunday. I think the Broncos win by 2 or 3, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Fun fact, the Green Bay Packers are – I was looking – I've got a margin of victory on my computer screen here, and the Packers are right at 0.0. They are the meridian of football margins of victory. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos are down at 29th. Now, yes, that is a little skewed because of one particular victory that they were on the backside of. But look, I think what we're finding out is if Tommy has picked the Denver Broncos again after the last time he did it, everybody in a daily fantasy sports who plays daily fantasy sports, pick up Jordan Love right now. He's got to be super cheap. You can then load up on super other guys because Jordan Love's going to throw 6 touchdowns. Go out and grab, all the other studs. I don't know, man. I don't want to watch this game. I certainly don't want to bet this game. Yes, the Packers win by 2 touchdowns, but there's a part of me that feels like that at some point the Broncos do have. I mean, like against the Chiefs, they played pretty well defensively, and prior to that, they were playing decently offensively. At some point, those two things are gonna collide, and there's gonna be a good defensive performance the same day that there's a good offensive performance. Maybe it's this Sunday, and so maybe the Broncos do win this game. I'm not going to bet it, but right now I'm just rooting for Sean Payton to have as many losses as possible. I really don't care about the Broncos losing. I just want Sean Payton to lose. So that's kind of where I am. What I'm saying is I'm not going to bet this game, but I will watch and root for the Packers.
Can I speak to the Broncos directly right now? Just give me like a little piece. Denver, Sean, Russ, look, listen to me, right? I'm putting my journalistic integrity on the line for you. This is just the start of my career. And if my career doesn't even get on the rails and start rolling because I chose you to win and you lose, I'm going to drive my ass to Denver myself and speak to Sean Payton directly. I'm not going to say anything, incriminating. However, I will not be a happy camper. So that's all I have to say.
Look me up when you're here. I mean, I'm just down the road from Sean's place.
You want to tag along?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just more want to watch than really. I'm just going to kind of observe. Before Ben, you respond. I just want to say,
be careful though. It's spicy.
Go ahead, Ben.
October 19th, 2023, the day that Tommy's career ended. Oh my goodness. These Broncos, yeah, in theory, one of these times it's gonna pull together, okay? And how many games through the first half have we watched this Broncos team and been like, oh, it's this week? And then the second half rolls along and we go, oh, it wasn't this week. It wasn't this week at all. This is such a bad football team. And they have no true desire to win. Okay? This team, as much as we will say players don't throw games, players don't tank, that's true. But Sean Payton isn't in jeopardy of losing his job. He doesn't really care how this goes. And yeah, his pride is on the line. But at this point, can you really even say that his pride will be hurt more by losing any more games? I truly don't think so. I think that he knows where his reputation is, and it's not going to get better by beating the Packers. He doesn't care, right? This season is basically a wash for him. It's a wash for Broncos country. It's a wash for Denver. Denver's moving on to hockey and basketball. It's time for winners to actually play under the lights in Denver. You know, it's okay, Tommy. I understand the pain that this team can bring you, but I want you to know there is a way out. You don't need to
Yeah.
be controlled by your feelings for this team. Look at my hoodie right now. It's purple. It's not even a football one because the Broncos don't deserve my support right now. And you know what, Tommy? They don't deserve yours either. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win by 6 easily in this one. Uh, After the Broncos are up by 7 at the half, all right? Find yourself that little same game parlay. Bet the Broncos first half money line and then take the Packers full game money line. I'm sure you'll find yourself a nice little profit there. That's a freebie from me. I hate the Broncos. Back to you guys.
No, I mean, we do have Nikola Jokic and Nathan McKinnon in this town, so we don't really have room for Russell Wilson at this point. But I do, Ben. Let me stand up for my boy Tommy here real quick. In our money line bets this season, I am in the hole $176. You are in the hole $18.97, and Tommy is in the black $894. So I am
How,
not going to question Tommy's picks right now because he is kicking my ass.
oh, that's completely fair. I just want to ask the good man Tommy how much money he's won off of betting on the Denver Donkeys this year.
Well,
That's what I
okay,
that's what
all right.
I want to know.
The counterpoint has strength behind it for sure.
It does, for sure.
All right. Well, that's too much. We don't need to spend any more time on the Broncos. We'll talk about them next week when they are 1-6. All right. Cleveland Browns, Indianapolis Colts. We're still not sure about Deshaun Watson. He's maybe. We know that Gardner Minshew is the Indianapolis Colts quarterback for the rest of the season. Tommy, take it away.
Yeah, so I think even with PJ Walker, who didn't have a complete week of practice, and it's his first time getting starting reps this season, and he didn't have a terrible game. I understand there was 2 interceptions and there wasn't any touchdowns, but you see him out there, he was poised. He wasn't frantic. He made he's made great throws from time to time. He was reading the defense quite well, and he was patient, and I was very happy with that. That's what I was most worried about, was his patience. And if he can run the system correctly, get a full week of practice, and you know how I feel about backup quarterbacks that are serviceable getting a full week of practice. I've been consistent about this through and through. I think they can be successful, and it's backup quarterback versus backup quarterback. I don't think there's an argument that Gardner Minshew is better than PJ Walker. It's just factual. Gardner Minshew is a complete could be starter quarterback in the NFL, but the Browns are a very complete team. I love the Colts. I've been picking the Colts all season. I think they're an incredible organization right now. I'm high on them. I am a Colts bandwagon right now. I love it. But I think that the Browns really proved their ability to play football last week. I mean, even with a banged up 49ers team, they have depth at every position. And beating that 49ers team and locking down their offense is no small task. And I have to say, I'm impressed with that team. And PJ Walker at quarterback, Deshaun Watson at quarterback, it doesn't really matter to me. They still have a deep running backfield with Ford and Hunt. And
And they
their
ran
offensive
well. They
line,
ran well against the 49ers.
they did, and that was with Joe Batonio. Wasn't he hurt?
Yeah.
And imagine Joe Batonio comes back, or even with that same offensive, Dewan Jones. Dewan Jones locked down Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa had one sack, but you should see if you watch that 22-man film, Dewan Jones was cooking Nick Bosa on some of those pass reps, and that's beautiful. I think that if we can do that against the highest PFF graded pass rusher in the NFL and reigning DPOI, I think you can do that against the Indianapolis Colts defense. I'm taking the Browns -3.
I was listening to a podcast today. It's Chase Daniels on it's the athletic podcast called In the Pocket. Chase Daniels, of course, like 15-year backup quarterback, and he was talking about the preparation for a backup quarterback and how when you are the guy for a week, when you're going to start, because he was saying you probably haven't thrown to the ones since training camp. And even back then, you probably weren't doing it live. Now all of a sudden, you get to throw to those guys for an entire week, and what a difference it makes in preparation for a game. And so you've got PJ Walker now, who's going to be starting the second week in a row, who's had assuming that Watson's not going to play because he still hasn't practiced, um, and he gets a whole week of practice. And look, the one thing we can say about him from last week is he understood get the ball to Amari Cooper. Cooper still went over 100 yards, even though Walker's yardage total was less than 200. Cooper had more than 50% of that. He understands that's my guy. Get it to Cooper. And so, I like the Colts. Obviously, the Colts are at home, but if the Browns can run like they did against the 49ers, because Ford was in the 80s in terms of you got a touchdown out of Kareem Hunt. And yeah, I mean, and the Browns defense is fantastic. There's absolutely no question about that. That defense is really one of the best in the NFL. This team can stay up. This team can piece together a pretty good season, even if Deshaun Watson never comes back. I like the Browns.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about what that win does for the 49ers. Well, let's talk even more about the Browns. We said it won't have an effect for the Niners. It's going to have an effect for the Browns. You feel a certain way when you go out there and you take down what a lot of people consider to be one of the best teams in the league, maybe the best team in the league. I think that the Browns are going to continue feeling that high. It doesn't matter how you get it done. It matters that you get the job done. And they got the job done. They got to be feeling themselves this week. Indy's coming off of a tough loss where they just really took a whooping from a division rival. I like the Browns on this one as well.
All right, Tommy, your final game, the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Somebody has to win the NFC South.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it might have to be the Buccaneers because, I mean, obviously we've talked about how they're a surprise football team. We didn't expect this out of them. We thought Baker was going to be hot garbage. We thought that they were going to be a bottom of the barrel team in the NFL. And I mean, look at us. We look stupid. They're actually pretty decent at football. And the Falcons are historically terrible this season in away games. The Buccaneers did just lose to the Lions 20-6, but you know who also lost to the Lions 20-6? The Falcons. And the reason that they lost to the Lions 20-6 is because they let Jared Goff have a great game. They're not great against elite quarterbacks, and nobody really is. But they cannot cause turnovers over quality quarterbacks. Jared Goff had one of the best games of his season, one of the better games of his career, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, something along those lines, and quite good completion percentage. But one thing that we can say for certain is that Desmond Ridder is not Jared Goff. And I'm confident that as long as the Buccaneers can keep that in check and their run defense is nothing to stab at. I mean, I know that the backfield for the Lions is really banged up, but they only let up about less than 40 yards rushing in total throughout the entirety of the game. So, and that was on almost 20 carries, maybe more. I think it was 21 carries or 22. 22 carries for less than 40 yards is an incredible run stuff performance from them. I think that if they can lock down that run game against the Falcons and hold Desmond Ridder, I think the Buccaneers take this game. I think they're the perfect kryptonite for the Falcons.
So I was on an airplane this morning, and we had a little video screens in the seat in front of us, and I had the Pat McAfee show on, but no sound. And Arthur Smith was on there, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I'm certain that what he was just explaining to Pat was how he's going to this Sunday not use any of his really good players and have Desmond Ridder just totally fuck up the game for him. And 100% that's what they were talking about, how I've got all these really good skill players that we're not going to use. And so, yeah, the Falcons to me are the biggest disappointment this year. I was really excited to see this team this year. And now I couldn't be more annoyed by them. They are the fly that just keeps landing on your face. And it's just like, get the hell away. And maybe that's just the mustache, also Arthur Smith's mustache speaking to me. But yeah, I don't want to like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I'm still a little bitter about them getting to host a Super Bowl that beat the Chiefs. But man, I've got to like them because the Falcons have pissed me off. And I want Arthur Smith to be booted so that somebody can come in and actually use the talent on this team, because there is talent there that is being wasted by this clown of a coach who has no business still being the coach. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's something that I think that we as a football community need to put more of a spotlight on. It's just how bad Arthur Smith is. Yeah, Josh McDaniels sucks. But we've known that. We've known that. Arthur Smith is wasting a really good young roster. And we gotta call that out for the crime against football fans that it is. And I know that Kyle is suffering with Pitts on his fantasy team. We gotta get this guy some fantasy points, damn it. With that
I also have Tyler Algier, which that's a whole nother story.
At the end of the day, it's crazy. The Falcons have yet to win on the road. The Bucs are 1-2 at home. One of these atrocious records is going to pull through here. I'm with you guys with Tampa Bay. They don't only put up low digits. They only do that once. The next week they bounce back. We've seen that this season. They put up 11, they came back, put 26 up on the Saints. They'll bounce back. It'll be fine. And yeah, Arthur Smith needs to get fired. It's crime.
Yeah. All right, Tommy, thank you very much. We appreciate your 4 picks. Ben moves to the big box. And we're going to start with those San Francisco 49ers. This is a Monday night game. San Francisco 49ers at the Minnesota Vikings. Take it away.
Do not sweat. I know the San Francisco 49ers fans have to be a little hurt. We've been talking about this show. It was a shocking upset. But like we said, it's not going to really change the trajectory of this team. CMC's injury appears to not be as serious as it was feared, which is good. We're still not 100% sure if he'll be able to play with this being on Monday, getting that extra day of rest. I think he's sitting at questionable right now. Don't quote me on anything. Regardless, I'm not sure if you need CMC because the Vikings are just a bad football team. They really are. Don't let last week fool you. That was the Chicago Bears. Let's stop fooling ourselves on this one. Keeping it within a touchdown, the spread, I like that. I like that the 49ers can cover 6.5 in here. I'm going to go with the Niners.
Yeah, I could see this game, being like the 49ers up by 3 in the fourth quarter and people worrying. And then the 49ers end up winning the game by 17 because Kirk Cousins is forcing things, and because he doesn't have Justin Jefferson, so he forces things, throws a pick, and it's a pick 6, and then there's a strip sack for another touchdown. I think the 49ers will cover this spread. One of the things that, I'm sure that Kyle Shanahan watches us. Maybe if you do play Christian McCaffrey this week, give him the fourth quarter off. He is second in the league right now in total touches. He's a great talent, but maybe you need him less in September and October and more in December and January. He does not, I mean, considering how many games the 49ers have salted away well before the fourth quarter, maybe he doesn't need all those touches. Yes, and well, maybe we're learning that Kyle Shanahan has him in fantasy or something. I don't know. But the 49ers have so many good weapons. It's trending that Debo is going to play this week as well. But go ahead and give those guys, some days off or some quarters off, some plays, some series off. You need them later in the season. You don't need them to beat a Minnesota Vikings team that is not good. If this spread got up to, if it added another 2 or 3 points, maybe I'd be a little more nervous about it, but I think the 49ers covers this pretty easily.
I think that this is probably one of the worst Vikings teams that we've seen in recent years. They have all the weapons. It's just not coming together. But we're talking about, Niners. But we forget one very important big fact. What is Kirk Cousins' record on Monday nights? Let's play a game. Let's play a Kyle game right now. Kyle, what do you think Kirk's record is on Monday nights?
I'm going to guess that he is 2-5 on Monday night.
All right. And Ben, what about you?
This means like 0-10.
See, if you just put Ben's losses with Kyle's wins, then you get the record. He is 2-10 on Monday nights.
That's not good. That's not good, Tommy.
It's not good at all. Not at all. And my reasoning for bringing this very important statistic up is not only is he 2-10 on Monday nights, but he's also playing one of the best teams in the league. Kirk Cousins can shove it, and they're going to lose by 10 or more.
Kirk Cousins.
I actually like Kirk Cousins. Forget Kirk Cousins. The Vikings can shove it, and all their fans, even though I kind of like the whole skull thing you guys got going on. I'm a little jealous.
It is a pretty cool way to start a game when they do the whole skull chant. It is pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet, and I'm going to be able to hear it. But screw you. Niners, 10-point win.
It's easy.
Fair on all of that. All right. So there was a time where the New England Patriots won 35 of 39 games against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have now won 6 of the last 7. Ben, which do you think? Which winning streak will be most relevant for this week?
I think the Buffalo Bills may have some momentum on their side, Kyle. I think that they got themselves rolling with a pretty good team. And to go with that, when the Patriots were just whooping the Bills, the Patriots were viewed as one of the best teams in the league. You know what? They may be one of the worst. As a Broncos fan, I don't really think that I get any say in who the worst team in the NFL is, but I do know that they're in the running. I know that the Patriots are down bad, and I think that a 9-point spread is pretty generous. I would be surprised it didn't even open at like 9.5, to be honest with you. I personally have a nice little side bet taking, once again, the Buffalo Bills money line in the first half and then taking their money line at the full game. That's paying me minus 137 because that's how lopsided this game is. That Buffalo's going to jump out to a massive lead and they're just going to hold on to it. It's in Foxborough. It's with the home crowd, but does it even matter when your team is this bad? I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to cover 9 points here.
Yeah, the Bills kind of sleptwalked their way through the game against the Giants last week, and they did escape by the skin of their teeth. But they hate the Patriots. They got their asses kicked by the Patriots for 20 years. They hate them. They want to beat them. They want to beat them badly. If you remember that playoff game between the Bills and the Patriots, the perfect game where the Bills scored a touchdown on every single possession of the game. Perfect game. That they want to do that to the Patriots every single time they play them. 9 points to me feels like taking candy from a baby. The Bills are going to win this game by 17 to 20 points. They're going to kick the crap out of not one of the worst teams. I think the Patriots are the worst team in the NFL. Okay, maybe the Panthers, but Patriots are right there. They're just god awful.
I would argue that the Panthers would beat the Patriots, but that's just me.
Could be.
But I think this is kind of insane that the Bills are only -9 against the Patriots. If you think about what they did, the thrashing they put on the Dolphins, who are a significantly better team in the division than the Patriots, they put up 48. They won by 28 points. That is a -27.5 point spread against one of the best teams in the NFL. Now let's apply that to another in-division team that happens to be a team that they might actually hate more, the Patriots. This is going to be an embarrassment of a football game. Malik Cunningham for starter. That's my new political campaign.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, I know Josh Allen's a little dinged up, but Josh Allen is going to play, and Josh Allen's going to single-handedly account for 4 touchdowns. So, yeah. All right. So, man, the Detroit Lions are actually getting 3. They're a 5-1 team. They are getting points on the road at Baltimore. Ben, talk about the Detroit Lions.
Listen, it seems as if the world may be against the Detroit Lions, or as I so lovingly call them, the Snoil. That's Lions backwards for y'all. And they, listen, I told you on this podcast before the season started, this team was going to the Super Bowl. And did anyone believe me? No. Everyone's like, Ben, you're crazy. And what they go out there and do week 1 before any other game started? They went out there and they beat the defending world champions. And listen, this is going to be yet another breakout game for the Snoil, all right? They are going to Baltimore, who just had a tough loss to Pittsburgh in the final quarter. It was just a weird game in general. I'm gonna be honest with you. I I like Detroit to do this. I just like the fight that they have. There is just, I wish I could break it down in X's and O's, but there's just the intangibles about this team that just, I think it's gonna be a great game. I think that they're gonna go out there with a fire in their belly. I don't think that they should be underdogs. I'm gonna take them as underdogs regardless of the line. I like the Lions to win in Baltimore this week, and I got a prop bet here uh, because I think this is gonna be such an offensively weaponized game. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff over 550 total passing yards combined at plus 240. And the way that these guys have been airing it out lately, I think that should be easy. So that's my take on this. Jared Goff is going to throw for like 350, 3 touchdowns. It's going to be awesome. Let's go Lions.
Tommy, since you also have your prop from this game, would you like to go ahead and talk about that before I say anything?
I would love to. My prop for this game is also relating to a high scoring game. I think that an anytime touchdown from Amon-Ra St. Brown tied together in a little parlay with an anytime touchdown from Lamar Jackson uh, will be plus 390 money. That's beautiful. I don't even know how else to describe this. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to tear it up against the Ravens. He's going to have an incredible game. He's had a great season so far. It's almost a guarantee that he should score the ball. I can't say that. I don't want our viewers to get a bad impression. He is very likely to score the football against the Ravens. And Lamar Jackson, with J.K. Dobbins still out, he's on IR. Gus Edwards starting at running back. I think Lamar Jackson runs one in. Plus 390 money. That seems pretty good to me. I'm not going to say anything crazy because my prop is the one thing I haven't been very consistent on this show, but I think that this week is a pretty good one.
Well, I'm looking at St. Brown's game log. He's got 3 touchdowns in 5 of his games, or so he scored in 3 of 5 games. So he is better than average at getting into the end zone per game. And then obviously you got the Lamar Jackson. So you're almost paying 4 times on your bet for things that do happen more times than they don't. So how can anybody complain? I'm sad. I think we probably need to send Snoil to Dan Campbell because 100% if he had thought of that, he'd be using it all the time. I am certain that if we were to send that to him, that he would open many a press conference by referring to them as the Snoil. I think at this point that the Lions deserve our benefit of the doubt. Just because they're on the road, they should not lose. I mean, and they say now you get about 2.5 points in the road. That means that straight up neutral field, the Ravens would be getting half a point against the Lions. They're too far. They're too up and down. I mean, I like the Ravens, but man, they've had injuries. They've had drop passes. There's just been a lot of things about this team that makes me excited, but then also makes me scratch my head. Whereas the Lions have just beat the crap out of everybody. They've got 4 straight wins in double digits. They are thrashing opponents. They are. I just looked it up, and they are number 3 in defensive DVOA, and they are 4 in offensive DVO. They are the only team in the NFL in the top 5 in both offensive and defensive DVOA. They are good on both sides of the ball. Aiden Hutchinson has been fantastic. He's a defensive player of the year candidate easily. Jared Goff is an MVP candidate. I mean, there's so many good things about this team. There's so many ways this team can beat you. Yes, the running backs have taken a beating, but they've got like 3 good wide receivers. They've got a great tight end, and they've got Ben Johnson, who is a head coach next year. Look, the NFC, you have nobody to blame for yourself. You could have hired Ben Johnson as a head coach this last year, but instead you left him in Detroit. This offense continues to thrive, and you are going to lose to the Detroit Lions because you did not take Ben Johnson away from them. Detroit Lions win this game, and I think they don't need the 3 points. Just the Lions are going to win this game.
I don't think I can match what Kyle just gave us for commentary for this game. I think everything that he said would be exactly what's come out of my mouth. I think that the Lions are a much better team right now. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the most well-rounded teams in the NFL. And the Ravens, they're good. I'm not going to knock the Ravens, but you can't lose to the Steelers by 7 and put up only 10 points if you're going to be a favorite against the Lions. That's not how the world works. Lions +3. I think your prop is great. I think the over on 550 passing yards, correct? I think that's going to be an easy hit because both of these guys can air it out when they're given the opportunity. And even in that loss against the Steelers, Lamar Jackson threw for 236, and we all know that Jared Goff is putting up more than 250 in this game. So I love it, and I'm all for it.
Let's go Snoil for the Super Bowl.
So yes. you got the Snoils to win plus 2 great props. Just sink all of your money into Lions futures. You're going to make some cash. All right, yes. Ben, your final game. I like this game. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, this is going to be a game. I think that you're probably more excited for it than I am, but that's because I'm sure that you enjoy defense more than I do. This Steelers defense is incredible to watch, truly. And I think I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd love to see the amount of points generated from defense compared to offense for Pittsburgh. Because they have been keeping them in games. I think that when you look at the Los Angeles Rams, this is an offense that can put up points. I don't know if Pittsburgh gets turnovers and is able to get some pick sixes, safety, scoops and scores, what have you here. But even if they do, I think LAR can jump back out. I think that they can match. And they don't have to match the Pittsburgh offense. The Pittsburgh offense is absolutely atrocious. And I can tell you that certified watching atrocious offense every week, okay? Like this is a pitiful offense. Um and they're playing against a decent defense in LAR. Uh I think that the spread should probably be leaning towards that 5 point range, maybe 4.5. I'm gonna jump on the Rams to take 3 any day of the week on this one. I just don't have any respect for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense to be able to keep up with an LAR offense that should be able to put up 20 to 30 easily.
I mean, you are right. I do like defense, but what I like about this matchup is I mean, I really like the Rams offense. I think it's one of the more fun offenses to watch. I think Sean McVay is one of the best play callers in the league. And we've seen that Cooper Kupp looks exactly like the guy from 2 years ago who set all those records. He has not missed a beat coming back from his injury. You add him now to the young guys that they've got, and it's a great wide receiver group. I want to see this defense against this offense. That's the matchup that interests me. I don't really care about watching the Rams defense versus the Steelers offense. The other way, though, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's all about, can TJ Watt make Matthew Stafford uncomfortable? And if he can, then maybe Pittsburgh has a chance. But I think that he and Cooper Kupp are on such a different plane when it comes to understanding where everybody's going to be, how quickly the ball needs to be out, and Kupp. It's similar to the Mahomes Kelsey relationship. The Stafford Kupp relationship to me reminds me of that, and I think that they can overcome any kind of defense because of that. I really wish that the Rams had Kupp when they were playing the Bengals. I think maybe that game would have been very different. But now that Cooper's back, this offense looks good. At home, the way that offense is playing, I do like the Rams to win this game, and I win this game. I think they win this game by a touchdown. Uh, Pittsburgh's offense just simply can't keep pace.
Yeah, I think this just comes down to the basics of Rams have a good defense, good offense. Steelers have a great defense, bottom five offense. Um, Defense wins championships, but it does not win regular season games. So I'm going to have to go with the Rams here just because, regardless of how good of a defense the Steelers are, the Rams are going to get a couple points ahead, and the Steelers just don't know how to score them. They can't get them back. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Ben. We appreciate your efforts. Now I will do my 4 games of the weekend. Sticking with Los Angeles teams, the Chargers are at the Chiefs. Now, I'm picking the Chiefs to cover the 5.5 point spread, but I have watched enough of these games in my lifetime. I am not betting this game. I watched last year Justin Herbert fracture his rib cartilage, couldn't throw the ball more than past the line of scrimmage. And then suddenly he threw a 48-yard touchdown pass and he kept this game close. I don't like the way the Chargers play the Chiefs. They always play them tight. The Chiefs are the better team. Clearly, the Chargers are not playing good football. They are below 500. They just lost at home to the Cowboys. And Herbert really did not look good. Austin Eckler back, but he looked terrible as well. There's just something about these two teams playing that makes me nervous. If you want to bet this game, if you have to bet this game, I would go with the Chiefs. But if you're just looking for the best bets to place, I would avoid this game completely.
I'm with you on that. I think that the Chargers overachieve when they play Kansas City. It doesn't matter whether they're the worst team in the NFL or if they're incredible. And then we're playing like a terrible Chiefs. No matter what, whether the Chiefs are good or bad, this game is close. Um, and it's not a money grab when it comes to betting. I'm with you on that. I don't think I wouldn't put my money on this game, but if you had to pick, the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL. You just have to go based off of just straight talent. Chiefs minus 5.5 is the move, but just be wary. Be wary.
Yeah, I agree. These AFC West matchups always tend to be highly contested and here's the thing about this Chargers offense, though they are having, or they're 2-3, they have a losing record. They're the only team in the top 10 offensive DVOAs with a losing record. This offense is still potent, and this is setting up for just another explosive offensive battle. Uh, I think the best move for everybody is to just sit down, enjoy a cold beer, have some good food. It's going to be a great game. Personally, if I was going to play it, I would play the Chargers. I think it's probably a field goal walk off for the win. That just tends to be how these AFC West games go. But yeah, I'm with them. Don't bet on this one. It's scary.
I'll be drinking fruit punch because I cannot legally drink alcohol. Designated driver.
Fair enough. We appreciate the DDs in our lives. The Cardinals at the Seahawks. This is a similar kind of a thing where Seattle is obviously a much better team. The Cardinals are not very good now that James Conner's hurt. But man, they always seem to play, and especially in Seattle, they always seem to play the Seahawks tough. I like the Seahawks. I think they're going to rebound after. Really, they should have beaten the Bengals last week. Offensively, they did not do much. Their defense, though, was suffocating. I think their defense continues to be suffocating this week as well. They need Geno to have a couple of good touchdown passes. They need to get Kenneth Walker going. They can do that. They will run away with this game because I don't think that the Cardinals are going to get out of the teens. And the Seahawks have the potential. We saw against the Lions that the Seahawks have the potential to put up a lot of points. Maybe this is the week that they're back to doing that. That's what I'm going to bank on, and I think the Seahawks can win this game by 10 to 14 points. But again, the Cardinals play them tough. Yeah, you can make a case that the Cardinals cover this spread, especially that it's that it's over 7 points. But I just like that Seattle defense. I think they're playing really well.
I honestly might have to go away from you here just because I think that the Cardinals are they're a surprise every week. You don't know what you're going to get. I mean, God damn it, they beat the Cowboys, and it wasn't a fluke. There was no fluke there. That was a smart, well played, well coached football game, and obviously I think this is going to be more of a coaching battle than anything. I think that Josh Dobbs is going to know not to throw the ball to the crazy secondary in Seattle. It's going to be a lot of checkdowns. We see a lot of checkdowns from Arizona, and that's where the Seahawks defense tends to flutter a little bit. I think this is going to be a 4-point game. I think the Cardinals lose for sure, but I really do think they're going to cover.
I do like that it's a coaching battle between pew 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 Jonathan Gannon and get off my lawn Pete Carroll. I think that's awesome.
This line is so scary for me. I think I'm going to buy a point. I know this is cheating, and Kyle's not afforded this luxury, but since it's not my game, I'm going to buy myself a point here and still take Seattle. I think Seattle wins, but I do feel more comfortable taking that 6.5 spread, hoping for that touchdown there because it could be a one-possession game at the end of this, truly. I can't wait to see Dobbs. Murray's back at practice, so that fire is getting back in him. Don't want the attention to ever turn and take that job away from him. The dude's been balling out for Arizona too. I'm rooting for him to have a good game this Sunday. But yeah, I like Seattle on here.
All right. To me, the game of the week, it's the Sunday night game, the Miami Dolphins at the Philadelphia Eagles. Tommy, if this is the weekend that you come to talk to Sean Payton, let me know. I will get some ribs going. We'll sit down and we'll watch this game on Sunday night because I'm excited for this game. I am going to take the points with the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins offense has been in terms of yards, these are the two number one and number two offenses in the league. The Dolphins, though, have a huge advantage over the Eagles, although the Eagles obviously at number 2 in the NFL, pretty good, but the difference between 1 and 2 is pretty great. The Dolphins, obviously the highest scoring team in the league. The Eagles are still top 10. I'm not ready to say that the Dolphins should be getting points after the way they had a tough one against the Bills, but that's a division game. They always struggle against Buffalo. Those things, that's those teams know each other intimately. The Eagles they just lost to the Jets. Now they've got an offense that can run up and down the field that they've got to contend with. I just don't think that right now they can keep pace with the Dolphins. Uh, I I think they can score. They may put up 30 points in this game, but I think the Dolphins put up 38 points in this game. I really like the Dolphins to win this game outright. So if I'm going to get points, I am going to take those points. I also have my prop from this game because I'm excited for this game and I just want to have all of my money sunk into this. I'm going to go over 2.5 total turnovers. So we get 3 turnovers combined by the two teams. I hit that one, and then I just need the Dolphins to score in every quarter. Doesn't need to be a touchdown in every quarter, just some points in each of the 4 quarters. And I'm going to pay plus 400 on that. So a couple of turnovers. We just saw Jalen Hurts throw 3 interceptions. We get a couple of turnovers out of the Eagles, another turnover out of the Dolphins. Dolphins scoring every quarter, and I quadrupled my money. But also, I do like that Dolphins team to win this game and hit on this prop. This game's going to get me back in the black for week 7.
So I'm gonna actually have to go away from you in both your spread and your prop, and this is just my takeaway from this. I think that the Philadelphia
I'm going to
Eagles.
have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
All right, Kyle. I'm going to have to pick the Eagles -2. And the reason I'm saying this is I know this is going to be a good football game. I think this is going to be, you said it, the game of the week. There's no better game to watch than this game coming into Sunday. But the Eagles are playing at home, and I think that is huge for them. I wonder what the weather is going to look like, but that Eagles home field advantage, a little bit northern to the east, it's going to be a little more tough on the Dolphins. And quite honestly, I don't think the Dolphins' offensive line is going to be good enough. The biggest part of the Dolphins' offense is getting the ball to the guys who are fast. They have great blocking schematics. They're very well coached, very intricate run blocking schematics. They have they have the fastest players in the NFL on their team. They have A-Chain is out, but Mostert, he's playing the best football of his career right now. But the Eagles front 7 is one of the best in the league, and the Dolphins offensive line, they how do I say this? They earn their stripes based off of coaching, but their talent isn't all there. And I think the Eagles are very well schemed, but they're also a very talented front 7. The Dolphins benefit from the system, but the Eagles benefit from not only the system, but their ability to make some goddamn plays. And I think they're just a level above. I think the Dolphins are going to have a little more trouble, and Tua's not going to have that much time. You can't have Tyreek Hill running a streak or Jalen Waddle running a skinny post. You need to have 3.5 seconds, maybe 3 seconds to drop back, look downfield, and make that throw. It's the longest developing throw in the NFL, in football. And when you need time to make those long developed throws, and I don't think he's gonna have that kind of time. He's still gonna have a pretty good game. I think that the Dolphins are still gonna play it very close, very high scoring game. But I don't think the Eagles are going to turn it over 2.5 times. I think it's going to be 2 times exactly, and I think the Eagles win this game in a nail biter.
Well, listeners, don't. I know Tommy just said a lot there, but don't forget he also picked the Broncos this week. We're riding with a whole lot going on right now. Not.
God damn it, Ben.
Listen,
I can't win.
Listen, I gotta be with Kyle on this one, man. Listen, I saw this press conference with Mike McDaniel a couple weeks ago where they were talking about having the most output in NFL history through 5 weeks. And Mike McDaniel said, mission successful. And you know what? I'm starting to think that he was being sarcastic because they still had plenty of output in week 6. It's crazy. This is a crazy good offense. And there's how many different motions, pre-snap motions for Hill. It's going to be a crazy scheming battle that I am really excited for. But the way that the Eagles have been playing teams close, I just like Miami in this one. What can I say? Maybe it's just watching them put 70 up on me is just put so much, like trauma that I can't foresee them losing. But yeah, I have to ride with the Dolphins on this one. But it's going to be an exciting game regardless, right? Like we're all in agreement on that.
For sure.
Well, the Dolphins beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. And I think that probably that was a forecast for what we can expect in this game. I think, 30 years ago, Jim Carrey was kind of forecasting what we would see when these two teams met again. And so, look, if you want to bet against Ace Ventura, go right ahead. But I would never do that. That seems to be like a recipe for just throwing your money away.
Mike McDaniel is such a cool coach. Like you just throw away the fact that it looks like his chain was bought with Kohl's cash. The dude seems really cool. You know what I mean? Like he seems just awesome. I love him.
He's always wearing Jordans on game day. So yeah, he may not have expensive jewelry, but his shoes are nice.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. All right. Our last game of the week, saving the best for last. The Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Though Daniel Jones has been cleared to practice, he has not been cleared for contact, however. So we're probably looking at another week of Tyrod Taylor. And hey, he did okay last week. But Tyrod Taylor was playing his old team. He was up for that. That was a big deal. Now he's got a division team that's playing better football offensively, at least. I am going to go with the Washington Commanders here. They are giving 2 points on the road to the Giants. The Giants are not a good team. It's not that the Commanders are a great team, but somebody's got to win this game, and I think it's going to be Washington. And unless it's going to be a 1-point game, I feel good about putting a little money down on Washington. Don't go crazy. I'm going to just throw like a 10 spot on this and let the Commanders continue to take me down that train ride to the playoffs. But it's really a bet against the Giants. The Giants are god-awful. Don't be fooled by last week. That was an aberration. This is a bad football team. They are not going to beat good teams like they nearly did last week. The Commanders are going to win this game going away.
Kyle, I really like Tyrod Taylor, Kyle. I do. And you know how I feel about really good backup quarterbacks getting a full week of practice.
Really good? I mean,
he is one of the better backup.
Serviceable.
I said really good in regards to backup quarterbacks.
Okay.
So don't worry. I'm not calling Tyrod Taylor elite. He dresses like an elite quarterback. If you see his in-game drip, crazy. He looks like an elite quarterback. He gives off elite quarterback aura. But he's an elite backup quarterback. And I just there's something about him that makes me want to just like tip in the New York Giants direction, because the biggest problem is, I honestly think that the biggest problem in the Giants offense is Daniel Jones. He is such a one-dimensional player, and Tyrod Taylor can do that one-dimensional thing, but also throw the ball serviceably and read a goddamn NFL defense. I think that Daniel Jones is just a glorified Justin Fields.
Wow.
Yeah, I have some harsh criticism for that crazy contract he got. I'm frustrated with this Giants output. It is disappointing. I think that Tyrod Taylor actually might win this game. I'm going to go screw it. I'm going New York Giants +2, and they're going to win. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to prove why Daniel Jones was not worth all that money. And then they're going to have to ride it out with Tyrod for the rest of the season, huh?
All right.
If you're a listener and you're trying to figure out how do I win at this Washington-New York game, let me tell you what you do. Go out there, enjoy yourself a nice Sunday brunch with the family. Okay, take them to see Grandma and Grandpa and all the aunts and uncles and the cousins. Bring them back, put on the game, and put them in their crib. They'll pass out immediately, all right? This is the best win for every parent out there looking for an easy way to put their kids down for nap time, all right? When it comes to football being played, I hope I can stay awake to watch it all. That's going to be shocking. I'm gonna go with the Commanders because I put all that time and effort into making a graphic saying that we're on the playoff train. And you know what? Why would I jump off now? You know, they're 3-3. It's still doable,
Hey,
especially
absolutely.
against a bad New York Giants team. Man, they were lucky last year. They're lucky when they are mildly successful this year. This is a luck-based team, and this isn't a luck-based league. I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
Hey, I don't want you guys to think that I'm off the train. I'm just taking a quick pit stop to go to the restroom, and I'm hopping back on.
You've had a
Um,
disappointing week, Tommy. No, I was kidding.
A reminder: the pit stop you're taking is on the New York Giants, who are 1-5 against the point spread this year. That's the pit stop you're taking
Oh
on
well.
the New York Giants, 1-5. The New England Patriots are also 1-5. Only two teams are worse: Carolina Panthers and the team that shall not be named, that makes a home here in Mile High Stadium. So anyway, yes,
Yeah, it's like the
we need
rest stop
the,
on the highway where
the
you go into the family restroom and there's some brown smears on the wall, but you don't know what those smears really are, and
mhm.
you can't really tell, but you have to play it safe and put toilet paper on the seat. You know, that's this rest stop I'm stopping at.
Wow. Tommy's family vacations, I want to hear more about. Um, all right. So that is our, there's 6 teams on a bye this week. So we only have the 12 games. We are not talking about Thursday night's game, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New Orleans Saints, because most of you, well, all of you, because this will not be up before Thursday night game. All of you will be watching this after that game is over. So we're down 3 games and we are done, but we still have our best picks of the week. Now we've picked all the games, never ever bet on all of the games. That's dumb, but betting on the best games, obviously very smart. And so we are now going to pick those because Tommy won our game. He gets to pick first and he starts off with his favorite of the week.
My favorite. I am gonna go with the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo giving 9 points. That is Tommy's favorite of the week. All right, Tommy, your top dog of the week.
My top dog is going to be the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, interesting.
I gotta
Arizona
mix it up a little bit. Come on,
they're
be
getting
interesting.
7.5 at Seattle. I don't hate it. All right, and your easy money line pick of the week.
I need to keep the streak alive, guys. I'm 6-0
Doing well. You're
on
doing really
moneyline
well.
picks, and undefeated, not a loss, all wins. And you know what I'm going to go with that I think is going to be a huge win? The Lions plus 130 is what I'm seeing here. But if Kyle can sneak in a little extra,
I've got 132 on my screen.
let's go, Kyle. You're always clutch. You are clutch, Kyle. Kyle Garlett is the clutchest man alive.
That is a fair, that is on my resume, in fact. So
Is it in your book too?
it is. You can read, yes, you can read it in my book. It's on the author's page. Ben, how do you feel about that 132? I bet you were looking at that. Do you have anything better than 132?
No, not currently.
Okay.
Not that I see.
Cool. All right, Ben, it is your turn to pick your favorite of the week.
My favorite of the week. It's not my favorite, but it is a favorite that I think will hit. We're going to go with the Green Bay Packers -1. I'll come out a winner one way or another.
You'll either be happy to lose or you'll be a winner. Okay.
Fuck.
Your top dog of the week.
It's because he took the money line. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to ride with the snow. I'm going to take them +3.
All right. Detroit +3 at the Baltimore Ravens. And your money line pick.
I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to take down the Philadelphia Eagles.
Miami. No, I've got +120. What do you have?
That's so much better than what I had. I had it sitting at +115, 116.
Okay, we're going to give you +120 then. All right. For my favorite, I am going to go with those Los Angeles Rams, giving 3 points at home. For my top dog, I am going to go with the Atlanta Falcons, getting 2.5 points. I know I ripped Arthur Smith a new one, but I am a sucker for punishment. So I am going to put my hopes once again in the Atlanta Falcons and Kyle Pitts. My easy money line pick. You guys have taken both of my favorite picks on the money line. So I am going to go with those Indianapolis Colts getting plus 137.
Ooh-wee.
I need I am in last right now, so I want to pick up a little cashola. Yes, I know it's a risk, but I did pick the Browns when we talked about the game, but I need a little bit of a win. So we're gonna hope that the Colts can pull it out and make me a little extra.
That's professional gambling advice right there. If you are down and you need money to get back up, you find the biggest money line.
Yes. No. Every money line, they got the Patriots.
Every sports betting handbook in the business will tell you just keep chasing those L's. Chase them to the end. Cash in that 401k and chase those L's.
Oh my goodness.
Take out that second mortgage. Come on now. Let's go.
Well, I'm not actually putting money down on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just making a pick. I wanted the Detroit Lions. I wanted the Miami Dolphins. I got neither because I was picking last. So I'm just taking the scraps, people. That's just the way it works. All right. That is our show for week 7. Gentlemen, it's been a delight. This, what was it? 2 weeks ago, I think we lost Dick Butkus. So I was going to end our little moment of football zen this week with kind of a look back at the man and the football player that was Dick Butkus, one of the most ferocious players in the history of the league. He has nothing to do with our betting picks, but he is somebody that if you love football, you love Dick Butkus. And we do love football, so we love Dick Butkus. On behalf of Mr. Tommy Burch in Springfield, Massachusetts, Ben O'Connell in Chicago, Illinois, I am Kyle Garlett in Denver, Colorado. This was our Week 7 show. You're going to go out there now, and you're going to make serious cashola because you've paid attention to all of our picks. Yeah, exactly. We've got little Johnny Manziel. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your neighbors, tell your orthodontist. Watch our show on YouTube. Listen to it on the on your podcast platform of choice. And when we are back for week 8, we will break down just how well we did this week. Until then, enjoy Dick Butkus.
Go Snoil.
Dick made big things happen when he hit people. I mean, that's the one thing that he could do to change the game. It was just awesome. So you had to get him blocked because he's going to make a play from sideline to sideline.
I want to just let them know that they've been hit. And when they get up, they don't have to look to see who was that hit them. It shouldn't be any puzzle. When they come to, they got to say, well, it must have been Butkus that got me.
Dick Butkus was much more than an intimidator. In just 9 seasons, he forced 47 turnovers, including a then NFL record 25 fumble recoveries. His career was cut short by a broken down knee, but not before Butkus had played every down of football he possibly could. He stood for something just as important as victory. He gave everything he had on every play.